Okay, what's up everyone? Bit of a long video today, but I wanted to do some recorded audio over some live Alliance War footage, of course, of yesterday. So we're fighting Omega here, the alliance of Ilax Skills and Frojo and a couple others, I think. At least that I recognize their names. So I thought it'd be cool to record this one. So we're pop a quick boost here. I think I end up going for a Mystic boost here, Mystic special boost here as well. Just because I thought I was going to use Voodoo for the second fight because I do have two Cosmics, but I end up just using Voodoo actually for only one fight in this war. Actually, two fights. I'll show that later on. So first up here, we ended up with a Groot. I wasn't really thinking of anything here. I just kind of went for it with Voodoo, figured he was my best at bet. Groot is extremely kind to me and immediately uses his passivism charges, and I place 12 poisons on him. At this point, I'm just going to let these poisons kill him. I see that they're not going to quite intercept with an L2, and they finish the job. End up on 100% health. Nice and easy fight with Voodoo. Groot is always a very easy fight. King Groot is relatively easy as well. Despite the lower duration poisons, you can just get so many on them. So that was 3 out of 3. And next up, we had a empty node, and now another Cosmic 4-star. So I see the persistent charges, and with the All or Nothing was kind of my biggest issue here, because I'm thinking that I'm not going to be able to get to that SP2 Voodoo consistently. So instead, what I'll do is I just won't give him any power at all. So I go in with Quake, thinking it's going to be a Heimdall or something like that. So I'd also have to go with Auto Block if I push the specials. But instead, it's a champion. As a 4-star, I'm doing 1% per second with my Aftershock charging, and it's basically doing nothing. I do play pretty dumb here, where I end up trying to Dex instead of parrying, just to keep my perfect 100% health, which is not something that I should have done. Just because it's a lot more dangerous to do in most Alliance War fights, and especially for me, I'm not completely experienced with it. So we move up, and next up we're going to have Omega's Quake mini-boss. After that, another Cosmic 4-star with a couple nodes here. And then I pretty much stopped for the night after this. Next morning, I wake up. I'm just checking out the Alliance War scores here. You can see it's Omega outfit Omega. They are beating us pretty lightly here, but it's not awful. And if we get another couple good attack bonuses, then we should be A-okay. So this Quake, I fought a Hulk Ragnarok here a couple wars ago with that 20% limber, and it actually didn't end up being as dangerous as I thought it would be. So what I decided to do is, instead of using Iceman, who I'm absolutely going to need for the bleed immune coming up, I end up going in with Quake again. Didn't want to use Voodoo because of class disadvantage. Needed to save Iceman, and that 20% bonus. I ended up taking that Thor Ragnarok with Quake anyways, after I lost a champion to him before. So I figured Quake was going to be okay here, as long as I played pretty passive and got enough blocks off. So doing the same thing as I always do, which is just push myself to the wall and then play against there. She's playing pretty aggressive, making it very difficult to get Aftershock charges here. 13 is a lot. I don't know if we'll actually get that high again. Almost messed up there, trying to push her back to get myself a little more time to charge them. You can see she's at the point where after the stun, she's continuing her combo instead of starting a new combo, which is usually a lot faster. I get absolutely smacked there for 10,000. Luckily, my Quake is a pretty chunky health pool. I am taking a lot of block damage here. Dismay isn't hurting me, really. Again, I get chipped away. I decide to just finish it. Quick SP1 evade. And I'm taking 700 damage from her Aftershock, but I hit her with a 13k SP2, and she's down pretty quickly. That one was alright. I've done better against that node, but I think Dismay never hurts, but I need to practice the timing, I think, a little bit better on that. But we're up to 3 fights now, all 3 out of 3. Next up, we have that 4-star Cosmic I was looking at before. And for this one, again, I'm expecting Heimdall. I'm pretty fearful of Heimdall just because I'm not 100% perfect on him. I end up only using one 6k because I figure it's only a 4-star. How hard are they going to hit? Luckily that doesn't bite me on the ass, but I'm just fearful of the auto block for Heimdall. The mini boss actually for center was a Heimdall, so that kind of put him into my mind with the persistent charges. I just kept thinking it, but it ends up being a Corvus. A nice and easy fight, even with kinetic reactor, something that's usually pretty difficult with Quake. But you can see he has hit. I've parried him once. I believe by the end of this he ends up getting half power just because he has such a low health pool that it just doesn't really mean anything. I hit him a couple times, realizing you gotta get rid of the Corvus immunity. I hit him for 6 damage there. I'm not sure what's up with that, but again, another easy fight. Next up, I believe, is the skill champion. Another 4-star on defense. Something that I rarely see. I'm usually seeing all 5 stars and then a couple 6 stars. 6 stars usually throwaway defenders, but I'm running into every single 4-star here. And I just gotta back out and wait for my clear, actually. Once I get that poison, just checking out the mini bosses here. You got an Iceman, Heimdall, that are possible fights here. Again, looking at it, basically the same thing. So it's 4, and on to part 3. We've got the clear, ready to go after that 4-star skill. I think I didn't really know what to expect here. No charges, maybe a Night Thrasher or something like that. Limber, Breakthrough, Bleed. Obviously an Iceman fight here, no matter what. No persistent charges. My first thought was Aegon, but he didn't have those persistent charges. I had to check out his profile really quick just in case he's low rank, still has a 4-star up there. Nothing. So I don't really know what to expect going into the fight. I'm not really expecting anyone too bad. And I end up with the worst case scenario, the 4-star skill that everyone places in Alliance War. The worst Alliance War defender, Korg. Iceman's not a terrible fight for him. Voodoo's a pretty good one. If this had not been a 4-star, I probably would have gotten just my ass handed to me. Unblockable immediately on that SP, on my very first SP1. I'm down to 80% now. This is just not going too well. I'm trying to maximize the amount of energy, things I'm doing there. His Limber has gotten him to the point where I can't activate those Cold Snap charges and get the extra damage off of them. Another unblockable attack. I'm just getting my ass handed to me. He's got Rock Shield back up, parrying him just to get some more charges, reflecting all the damage back to me. 4 Cold Snaps. So what I'm thinking here is bait out his heavy and get those, which did really well. Now I want to push him to his SP2, use another SP1. His SP2 is completely evadable. I believe his SP1 is pretty evadable, but it's a lot more difficult. I end up going with the heavy again there to go off with the frostbite charge. That's kind of how I play Iceman. I build as many of those as possible, and then I get that heavy either through just intercepting with it or through parrying various other means, just to maximize my kind of speed damage there to as much as I can in that 3-minute timer. And I get him down. Not too awful a fight. Iceman took a lot more damage than I would have liked. Heimdall and Iceman are open. So now I go to my alliance, see which one they want me to take. and they want me to go after Iceman. I went into this fight pretty damn confident. Voodoo on full, so it's not going to be awful. Unblockable SP1. Iceman's, you got to get the timing perfect. It's not like Heimdall where you just got to get back, but you got to get the timing exactly perfect on this. Otherwise, you run the risk of getting a frostbite. Not only the cold snap on you, but you get the frostbite charges. And when those explode, they're going to be doing a crap ton of damage to you. Those expire. Going Voodoo, thinking that the heal is going to offset a lot of the cold snap damage here. We're just going to play pretty passively, get that power control on him, just so we can play as aggressive as we can. Once we get that on there, we don't have to worry about evading a lot of SP1s. Parry gets removed the ice armor. Don't really need to do that. Perfect evade on that first one. Nice and easy, starting to build up those charges so I can get the power drain. And I fuck up. So it's dealing 300 damage. I'm only healing for 180. I get 3 power drains here, which is fantastic. A little video lag there. But boom. I think that was 40. I think it's like 50, 60% there. And I'm at 7% now. I think I get another SP2 off here. But eventually I just miss a parry and he just smacks my block until I'm dead. Just awful fight by me. I think about stopping the recording. I end up deciding I'm going to keep going. And I'm going to go back to relying on my number one, which is Quake. Iceman just doesn't have the health. I already proved that I can't go and perfectly evade SP1. Just checking my backup, seeing what they have. Their highest is Blade. That Ghost Rider is going to die to Cold Snap. That Blade is going to die to Cold Snap. So I figure I can do this. 16,000 health on Quake isn't quite enough, so I'll pop a quick 6k. I think I popped one of the 3ks as well here. Bring up to almost full. And so my goal here is, because I'm not going to evade when I have that Cold Snap on me, first thing I want to do is I'm just going to play very passively. Don't hit him, don't let him hit me, and just completely bait out that first Cold Snap. It's not super long, you can see duration right there. Doing just under 300 damage, I'm healing back 70 of it, just because Quake's insanely large health pool. I'm going to be not taking that much damage, but 25%. And now we can play Quake style. Obviously have to worry about that first stun being shrugged off, but it's just normal Quake style. He's going to be playing a little bit limber here. It's about 10%, I think it's about 20% in that last fight. So it's not as bad. We still have to play pretty passive there. I tap him there. I don't really know why. I think he meant to go in with the heavy. Misregistered. It's just Quake style from this point out here. Nothing too awful at all. I don't end up back. I don't try to back him up. I just want to play. He's playing extremely aggressive here, finishing with the heavy attack, which is usually not great, but we're getting those evades. Down at 32%. We're making great time on this. Quake being R5 has been one of the best decisions that I have made in this game. I rely on her pretty heavily for Alliance War for any sort of uncollected boss, and she's just fantastic for anything like that. He's essentially stun immune at this point, Iceman. And I'm just playing like I would have stun immune, just taking that parry. I've only lost about 15, but like somewhere like 15 to 18% health on those blocks. I end up smacking SP1. Doesn't quite kill him. I think a couple aftershocks here will. It chips me a couple more times, gets the frostbite, but doesn't have enough time for it to expire. So, Iceman down, 2 out of 3. My only death was against that Iceman. Not too great. But still, I'm pretty happy with how I fought this war. Definitely not my best, but I've been in a little bit of a rut recently, just losing fights that I absolutely should have won. Heimdall, you can see one of my alliance members died to him. It's already up to 5% charges. That makes it much more difficult for the next guy. I think that Heimdall goes down a couple more deaths. Frojo's Sentinel goes down. After that, we're at 94%, and we're basically at 10 less attacker kills to 4 more deaths there. Only 2 row defenders remaining. I think those 2 defenders got a total of something like 2 kills at the very end. And should be ending the recording right around here, and we ended up losing. So that's that war. I feel like we did pretty alright then, just for fighting Omega. But yeah, thanks for watching.